Push-ups are too hard, and I don't want to spend any time whatsoever practicing them because I cannot see any benefits whatsoever to me. So this is a question that we asked our Fit Flexers, right, Sal? It was like, who wants to get better at push-ups? And like, absolutely nobody raised their hands. It was like not a soul. And they said, and they were the words that they actually said, I can't see any benefits to me. And so it was like, okay, what we need to do is to rephrase how we think about push-ups and how they actually help you in daily life. And so after we did that with the group, there were a lot of them, all of them actually, then put up their hands and went, okay, yes, now I understand why I need to actually focus on getting better with these push-ups. And so one of the things that I was thinking about, Sal, is that sometimes we hear this word, make sure your exercise that you're doing is functional. So you want to do
Yes.
functional movements. And like, quite frankly, who really knows what functional movements are? So what it really means is, how does this specific exercise help me in daily life? Which is what we're going to do today. We are going to go beyond the reps and sets and talk about how a push-up is practical in daily life. And I think the first thing that we need to do is talk about what muscles we're engaging when we do push-ups. So that would be chest, shoulders, triceps, core, and basically your legs are a little bit involved as well too. So it's a nice all-round push-up exercise,
Yes.
don't you think?
Yeah. It uses a lot of different muscles, depending on what type of push-up you're doing,
Yeah,
where you're starting, that sort of thing. But yeah, you utilize a lot of muscles.
yeah, absolutely. Like you can go for a wide arm push-up, or you could do a tricep push-up. You can do a beginner style push-up. You can do intermediate. You can do, the more advanced. You can jump up and clap your hands in between if you're really, really good at it. So,
Yeah.
so, but anyway, today let's talk about like the variety of daily tasks that doing a push-up can actually help you do. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about was going in and pushing heavy doors. And
Yes.
I've seen this firsthand with Paul and with Mum. We go somewhere and they've got a bigger door and they go to push at it and they actually can't do it. It's a bit of a struggle. It's a bit tough. And the push-up is one of those things that's all about pushing and pulling, right?
Yes.
And so if we think about it, what are the things that I'm going to do in life that involve pushing and pulling? And the benefits of push-ups, then we're probably more likely to get involved and do them.
Yeah. If you, and this is one of the things when we were speaking to our ladies in the FitFlex community, and we were talking about the push-ups.
Yeah.
And we were getting them to think beyond, not think of it as fitness. You have to think about it as, I need to get strong because, as you said, I need to be able to push a door. And another one is, I need to pull a trolley, a grocery trolley.
Ah, yes. Okay. I didn't have the trolley on my list. So because I probably, when I go and do my groceries, I'm usually doing them in smaller chunks. So I'm usually just carrying the bags anyway. But in saying that, if you think about the strength that you gain in your shoulders and your arms from a push-up, that's going to help you just carry those grocery bags as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. But, even thinking about your grocery bags that you're talking about, whether you're putting them on the back seat or whether you're putting them in the boot of your car, it's still even that little movement forward.
Yes.
To get them in to where you want them to go. It might only be 5 centimeters that you're moving forward, but it's still that forward movement where you need those shoulder muscles, those chest muscles to engage.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, and I suppose what I would love for the ladies who are listening today to actually think about is, am I noticing when I'm going through doors that they're heavier? Am I noticing that my groceries bags feel heavier, or that I'm carrying less grocery bags? Because they're all signs that I'm on this aging slippery slope and that I am losing my strength, my fitness, and my flexibility. So that's a sign to say, hey, come on, let's do something about it. One of the other things that I thought of, and it was very left field, was actually opening up jars and containers.
Yeah.
That a push-up can actually help you do that, because again, it's all about your arms and your shoulder strength that you're using, but you're also then, when you're doing a push-up, you are actually down on your hands. So you're doing some type of work on strengthening those wrists as
Mm.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's that movement. You've got to engage your wrists. And we do have a lot of ladies in our, not a lot, shouldn't say a lot, but we do have ladies in our Fit Flexors community who often complain about weak wrists.
Oh, totally.
And wrists are one of those joints that you have to specifically strengthen.
Yes.
When we talk about our knees, we can strengthen our knees through our squats, deadlifts, all those sort of exercises. But wrists are those isolated joints where you have to put the work in to make them stronger.
Yeah, and we don't really think about it. And so what will happen is we'll start to get other people to open up the jars and the lids, or we'll start to use the kitchen gadgets as such.
Yeah.
And it's not, and that's just about finger strength. It's not just about finger strength. It is about the strength that you actually have in your wrists as well too. So there's a lot you can do as far as mobility work to work on the hands. And I
Yeah.
think, Sel, it is the one thing that we should all focus on, because if we're not doing that, and we don't have our hands to help us, that's going to take away our ability to live independently, because we
Yeah.
are reliant on someone else to do something for us. So I think that's a
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. One for me, another left field one, as you said, mowing.
Mm.
Now, can I just say, we have a lot of ladies in our FitFlex community who are gardeners.
Oh, yes.
And mowing is that push-pull motion.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I had that down as well too. And so I took it to the next level, that the yard work, the raking up leaves, the shoveling if you've got to shovel dirt, lifting bags of soil if you are doing the gardening, all sorts of things. So yeah,
Yes.
the garden is definitely one of those areas that is going to tell you, hang on a minute, I need to do a little bit more work to keep my strength here.
Yeah. Yes.
And I actually decided that I would move some furniture around the other day, Sel, and rearranged a few things. And I went, another reason to do a push up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was pulling, I was pushing, taking a little break, pushing and
Yes.
pulling again, and another break. So yeah, if we want to be able to move those heavy objects around our house, like our furniture, yeah, it's definitely something that we should be thinking about. And even just playing sport, if you think about
Yeah.
basketball or tennis or even swimming,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to help with how athletic we are in, and our ability with the sports that we're doing as well too.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Tennis. We have a few tennis ladies in our Fit Flexors community. So doing the push-ups or getting
Yeah.
stronger in their push-ups is going to help with their tennis. Excuse me. Sorry.
Golf, Self.
Golf. Yeah.
Yeah, golf as well too, And
Yes.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, we have a lot of ladies who are playing tennis or playing golf or doing gardening, because the other thing that I thought about was we've got a lot of grandmothers.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you want to be able to push and pull that grandchild in their latest car that they just got for Christmas, Sal.
Yes.
That's specifically directed at you.
Yes, and it's just over there.
The little red car.
Yes.
So you need to be able to have the strength in order to be involved with your grandkids. So, just playing with them, picking them up off the ground, even things
Yeah.
like that. And, if you don't have grandkids, then you might have a dog or a cat,
Yeah.
so you might be needing to pick them up as well too.
Yeah. I have my grandson and my daughter, Olivia, like she has a 4-wheel drive. Now the 4-wheel drive has a lift kit in it, so it's 2 inches than what it should be. 2 inches isn't much, but I'm not a tall person, so for me to get Landon into the car seat, I have to lift him up and down to get him into the car seat. So it's that shoulder strength and that chest strength and the upper back strength that I need.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that as well too, because I took 4 grandkids to the movies this week, and I know that from the floor to being able to do up the car seat, I can't reach either. So I have to stand on the skirting board in order to be able to do it. So again, it's not so much about the push-up, it's about the balance. But, I had to have that strength in my hands in order to, be able to pull the belt over and to be able to do it up as well too.
Yeah.
I think the last thing that I want to say in regards to push-ups is they really help improve posture.
Yes.
And I personally, I don't want to be that hunched over, weak woman. I want to be that woman who walks with confidence. And I'm often reminded, because I do sit at my desk a lot, so I do have that rounding in my shoulders. So I'm often reminded when I'm out and about walking around at the shops and everything, I look and I go, oh, hang on a minute, straighten up, and all of a sudden, I'm really focused then on keeping my shoulders down and relaxed, pulling my shoulder blades back, engaging my core as I'm walking. And if you glance at yourself in a shop window as you're walking past, you can see the difference.
Yeah,
and it just makes such a big it just makes such a big difference to you and how you feel about yourself.
I was just going to say that too. Like if you have nice posture, it's a confidence booster.
Yeah, for sure.
It puts a smile on your face. You're standing a little bit taller. So definitely.
Have you got anything else you want to add about push-ups?
My last one isn't so much, and I've spoken about this before, isn't so much the functionality in everyday life, but with your push-up, as we get older, that fear creeps in of falls, but we can start having falls. We may start having falls. When you're strong and you're doing push-ups and you're strong from your push-ups, you're going to get up quicker.
Yes.
And you're probably going to have less, sprains, twists, or broken bones because you are confident, as we were just talking about, you're confident in that, oh my goodness, I've fallen, but I know I'm going to be able to stop myself.
Look, I know, Sal, during the pandemic for me, I just stopped wearing high heel shoes altogether and went barefoot. But I know probably about 18 months ago now, I decided to wear my high heel shoes out, and I had a pair of white pants on, of all things, because I am super messy. And I had these white pants on, and what happened was I clipped the front of the shoe on a concrete path that was slightly raised, just a fraction, And as I'm moving, as I'm starting to fall, I'm thinking about myself, all those things that I teach. And that is, don't put your hands down, don't stop yourself from falling, allow yourself to go limp, like the kids would. And so I went down, I ended up going down. I did end up on my knees. As I hit those knees, I just sort of like, I popped straight back up. And I went, because I did have that strength and that ability in my body. So yeah, I just popped straight back up. And I thought, oh, for sure I've got a hole in these pants now. And I looked down at the pants. Do you know there was no dirt on those white pants?
Wow.
However, that was amazing
Yeah.
itself. There was no hole, there was no anything. But what it shows is the more that we focus on muscles and doing the foundational things like practicing our balance, then what it means is when we get into those situations, like you're talking about, having a fall, that we are able to get up and
to bounce back up
easily. But what we also are putting ourselves at less risk of hurting ourselves as well too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lady that I was working with towards the end of last year, and she was 83, I think, and she had her first ever fall over at the shopping centre.
Yes.
And she had to have an operation and all sorts of stuff. So she came, and I put her on the treadmill, and like, this is just a treadmill.
Yeah.
The speed was barely going.
Yes.
There was no elevation. The fear in her, like, I could just see the fear in the way she walked. Yes, the way she had. And I said to her, I said, "You're scared?" And she said, "I'm terrified of falling again."
Yeah.
And she couldn't pop back up. She has never ever done strength training.
Yes.
Never worked with weights, nothing. And it was her first fall, and it's terrified her.
Oh, absolutely. But, she's in her 80s. Just recently, one of our newer clients who joined us, she had a fall. She's only in her early 60s, but she did not go back out. She loves hiking, but wouldn't go back out hiking because she had that fear of falling again. So, once something happens to us, we really get quite scared about it. And then what happens is, our world becomes smaller, where we don't have those things. We're not doing those things that we love and enjoy because simply we become fearful. And yet when we stretch ourselves, when we actually get out of our comfort zone each day, we're expanding our brain and our grit, our resilience, our willpower, whatever you want to call it, to actually do something and live better. And I think we really need to start focusing on challenging ourselves more each day.
Yes.
Because one of the things, and I think you've listened to this podcast show, because we were talking about it yesterday, Sel, where they were talking about when they looked at the brains of people who were over the age of 50, who had lived longer, that actual part in their brain was quite big. So what happens is when we don't challenge ourselves, that part of our brain gets smaller and smaller. So it actually restricts how we live our life.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, Sal, my final thought on push-ups is this. While it's a really, really versatile exercise, you really want to have, a well-rounded training program that has lots of different exercises that covers off all of the things that are going to keep us strong and fit and flexible for life. So even though we love the push-up and we will keep banging on about it, today what we wanted to do was really highlight just one exercise and how it helps you do many things in life. And we could do this with every single exercise, basically.
Yes, we could. I just wanted to say, if you are going to take up the challenge of learning to do push-ups, don't think of it as, we're talking about beyond reps and steps. Don't look at the push-up and go, oh my goodness, I've got to be on my toes doing an advanced push-up and I've got to do 4 sets of 12 reps.
Mm-hmm.
No. If you can get 5 push-ups out today in a beginner's position, you know, so that's our tabletop position. If you can get 5 out tomorrow, then tomorrow your challenge is to get 6 out.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
And when you can get up to those 12 reps in that beginner's pose and that in that beginner's position, and that chest is coming down to the floor, like you're almost touching, you're ready to move on to the intermediate. So start your intermediate. 5 reps I can do today. Tomorrow I'm going to do 6.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I've just done with our personal training clients is I've actually broken it down even further still. It's like, let's learn to actually bend our elbow. Let's actually learn how to engage the muscles that we need to engage. So that's first and foremost. Let's start by doing that, and then let's move to the next stage, and then the next stage, and the next stage. And we work through different things where we've introduced supports, so that when you do get onto your toes, you don't have to go down as far, but what you're doing is going, here's the place where I'm going to go to. And then once you get to that and you can do a solid 10 there, then what we're going to do is we're going to take away that support level and we're going to go to the next level as well too.
Yes.
So there's lots of ways that you can improve. But I love the fact that you have mentioned, yes, challenge yourself each day.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me, Sal.
Thank you for having me, as always.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us, ladies. We hope you've got something out of today and that you're more encouraged to actually get out there and do push-ups now that you know all of the things that it helps you in life. See you all soon. Bye, Sal.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, Peter.